Coming up on Verse, Chorus, Verse, these episodes were so popular last year.
Were they?
Within us. That we are going to do them again this year. That's next.
Yay.
Hey, welcome to Verse, Chorus, Verse, episode 174. Everybody, how you doing? I'm DL. I'm not alone.
Not today.
Evil. There's a white guy joke in there somewhere for this to be his favorite band from New Orleans. Jimmy. Evil. How you doing?
I like Galactic as well. Thank you very
much. As much as these guys?
No.
Yeah, I said favorite band from New Orleans.
Wait, hold on. On entire catalog? Yes. On just pure on one album, then
keep proving my point. How about Rachel? Fiona is the only non-Swift artist. She brings up now polio.
Yay!
Rachel, how are you?
How did you know? Good. I'm good. Yeah, everything's well.
Evil. Stay like that for the next 4 hours. How are you? How are you doing, Evil?
I'm good. I'm flying solo. The ladies are off to Disneyland.
Hanging out with the Mickey and the I don't know, Aladdin or something.
They really like the.
You have children, David. You should know Disney characters.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Moana. How about Moana?
No.
Rachel, how's season 4 going for you?
It's going. It's chugging along.
Isn't it?
I need to focus though and stop other work and excursions.
We've all kind of been there, but that was a perfect segue. Thank you very much, Rachel. Speaking of chugging, let's just get to it. What are we drinking tonight? Rachel, you have something that looks like a Rachel.
That's a Rachel special.
You're Racheling today.
I just have a chai cream frappuccino with soy milk, and I have a floater of Fireball on top of it. That is not floating anymore. It's
You floated Fireball on it?
Well, because I had to stick it in
Why?
the freezer. So
Oh, God.
It's fucking delicious.
You say that every
No, this is really good.
I'm going to go next because I have a feeling Evil's drink is going to win.
Yeah.
Because he is being... We'll touch on that when we get to his drink. I've been very impressed with him this year. I, however, am about to press it. I'm also going to impress you all in a totally different way because we've got 3 songs to talk about. So I'm doing Whiskey 3 Ways.
Ooh.
And Evil's got lightning going on
I love
or
it.
something.
Lightning?
Okay. So I just got back from a week-long trip, and boy, are my arms tired. So I do have a Irish coffee because I really need to wake up, and I forgot Red Bull. I also have...
He's very tired.
I have not had a whiskey sour in a very long time.
Ooh.
So I also have a whiskey sour.
Yummy.
I haven't even tasted this one yet.
Mixing it.
It's a double. It's delicious. And then you know what? I'll save it for when we get to my song, I guess.
Okay, don't forget.
Well, then for my third one, I'm just going to grab a rando over here and do a little clinky dinky. So, Whiskey 3 Ways. You're going to get sloppy DL at some point. There might be a future episode where you're going to get really sloppy DL because this is not the only episode we're recording today. Evil, what are you drinking?
You want to guess? You saw the ingredients.
I can't guess because I always see... Well, actually, I don't remember seeing ingredients, so...
I just sent a photo.
You did send a photo.
You did.
There's some
I didn't have time.
Orange's ugly sister. No, sorry, Lemon's ugly sister.
There's a little bit of Lemon's ugly sister in here. This is a riff off of a last word. So I'm dealing with the Carthusian monk debacle because there's no chartreuse. There's like highway robbery to get a bottle of it now. It does, yeah. For yellow chartreuse, and this isn't like a perfect like 1-to-1. Yes, it's just like it. But there's a liqueur, I think it's Italian, called Strega, that I found that is pretty close. And then if you put in just a little bit of Benedictine, it gets it right up next to it. So for cocktails, it works really well.
Okay.
This has mezcal in it instead of gin. So it's mezcal, Vita Mezcal, the Strega with a little bit. It's probably like a quarter ounce Benedictine, the rest, 3/4 ounce of Strega, and Lemon's Ugly Sister.
What does it taste? Is it?
It's like
smoke. What does it taste like?
Smoky, little bit lighter. Last word. It's fucking delicious.
Hey, that's what we're drinking. Now we can get to what we're actually doing tonight. Last year, we had these really fun episodes that we love doing. They did well. They didn't do anything special, but we liked them so much that we wanted to keep doing them. What we've done is it's called Break It Down. We each bring a song to the fray and discuss it ad nauseum. We all talked, and we realized that there was something missing in this podcast, that we never really got to talk about songs fully. And this is the perfect way to do it. Mm-hmm. Last year was fun. Evil and I had a help me out here. It's been a week. I can't. The words, David, today not be good. Promise. Oh. So last year, Evil and I had a theme. Rachel is that's not just that's not a Rachel thing to do. So, did you
that was the plan?
Do that this year?
Smart ass.
Play by rules.
No, it's not. So at the end of this episode, we'll each guess what the other person's theme is going to be this year. See,
right?
We're not going to spoil it, but we're going to see. Maybe there'll be some drinks down the line. But add a few other things in. But that's what we're doing. We each brought a song. We're going to talk about it. Rachel's studying for this. I could see this going one of two ways for you. I could see you being extremely annoyed by not one, but two of the songs
not
that
my own.
you had to listen to. Yes or no?
I don't want to give it away, but just one slightly annoyed. But that's generally how it is. No offense.
Evil, same question. Did you love all these? Was one of these songs maybe a little hard for you to get into?
I would say that I found a common amongst all three of them.
Ooh,
that gave
like
me something to find that made me more interested in one of the songs that I may have not have had the same interest in compared to the other two.
You've given us something to talk about.
Yeah.
A la
like Bonnie
Ray.
Ray. Ah!
Did you say Bonnie
Ray
Ray?
Cyrus?
I did.
Bonnie Raitt?
Tease.
Is it
There's
Raitt?
A couple of them, I think.
You're joking.
I thought they were silent. I'm not kidding.
You're serious? You thought it was Bonnie Ray?
I know.
Good night, everybody. Thank
There's
you.
two T's.
They're
not both silent.
I'm well aware of how to spell it. I just thought it was. I've never heard
The
it.
double-
a hard
the double
T at
silent
the
T.
end.
It's Bo Ray, right? The NNIE and the TT are silent.
I quit.
You're gonna get a little bit of flack there. This is gonna be a long night. Everybody,
Are you
gonna
boys? I'm
take a
leaving
break.
after an hour.
Rachel has definitely given us something to talk about. We'll be right back. My God, was that real?
That's amazing.
Yeah. I've never heard somebody say that. Rate.
We are back. 3 songs, 3 people, 3 things to discuss. Rachel,
David.
we're going her song first because I have a feeling that people may have the most to say on this one.
Maybe.
So, Rachel, bake it away, toys.
Hey, I'm the chief here. Bake 'em away, toys.
Nice. Hi. So we're gonna first song we got here.
Great
You're
start.
doing terrific.
Right out of the gate. We're going to talk about Fiona Apple's, I can't stop thinking of Bonnie Ray. Fiona
There it
Apple's
is.
Sleep to Dream, released the 14th of April, 1997 on Columbia Records, was the 3rd single from her debut album Tidal. That sounds weird. It sounds like I'm saying
Was it her
Tidal.
3rd?
3rd single?
Yeah.
That's what my study notes tell me.
Wow. So what would the first 2 have been?
Criminal
and what?
something else.
Never Is a Promise, maybe?
So this hit number 28 on the Billboard charts. Good, great, pretty good for a debut. It's the song where she won VMA's Best New Artist and did the whole "This world is bullshit" speech, which was very
Award
talked
shows are
about-
bullshit. As I take my award.
Yes. She
Yoink.
did say that. I chose this song because, as David, as you said, any chance to talk about Fiona Apple, since we can't just talk about other people all the time. Gotta keep it fresh. Yeah, I had a really good time studying for this one because I know the song. David, you had said earlier you didn't really have to study the song because you knew it so well. Neither did I. But it did make me listen to every Fiona Apple album this past week. So
Interesting.
it was a very nostalgic week for me.
Yeah, it's just I know this song so well, and I know the shit that's around it too. You know,
Yeah.
like the fact, supposedly this is this all the songs out of her catalog. This one is she was youngest when she
Right.
wrote it at
Yeah.
14,
Yeah.
which I have thoughts on, and it's weird looking back because I was going back and particularly the live performances where she just seems so tiny and she's on like Howard Stern.
Yeah.
And she's talking about how she wrote this when she was 14.
Yeah.
And I remember back then it was just such a badass thing. And I don't know if we've evolved or devolved, but now when you hear that, you just think like it kind of makes this song fucking creepy.
Well, she did live. We've talked about this, but she lived a life pretty early on. And so this coming from, as far as I read, it wasn't the entire song that was written when she was 14, but she did start it when she was 14.
Probably the lyrics
but
though, right?
regardless, everything was written before she was like 17 years old on this album. So it all is
Yeah, that's nuts.
a little disturbing and a little dark.
Evil, where are you at with Fiona Apple? I don't think I've ever heard about your thoughts on this.
I don't
person.
know her catalog very well. I think she's phenomenally talented, and I love her music. But she's not an artist that I've like done a deep dive on and explored a whole bunch of. Every time I hear her, I'm like, oh, I really need to spend some time listening to her more. And so I was really happy when I sat down to start like preparing for this episode because I'm like, I honestly, I didn't know from the title which song it was. And so when I first listened to it, I'm like, oh, this is my favorite Fiona Apple song. This is fucking awesome. So I know
really?
the song, not like super well, but I know it. I probably haven't listened to it in years, maybe 15 years or so. It was one that was like heavily on my radar at the time of its release and in kind of the subsequent years. So that's kind of where
Gotcha.
I'm at. Every time I hear you guys talk about her, I'm like, oh, I need to listen to her more. So I'll be probably getting this album for
Yay!
myself too.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
This is the first CD I purchased with my own money. Actually, this time.
Wow.
I will tell you, Evil, and Rachel, you can chime in and tell me I'm insane. But after we tore through her discography and I've been listening to her, more and more than I once was, I would call this maybe her. For me, it might be her fourth or fifth best album.
Well, really?
Yeah,
Best album.
Wow.
yeah.
So it's okay.
The two that came after are better.
Yeah.
Actually, I think
Okay.
maybe the four that came after are better.
All
and it's
right.
not because this, but here's the thing: is there are for me two songs on this album that are like in her
best.
whatever top
Yeah.
7 best songs period,
Yeah.
and this would be one of them.
Yeah.
It's funny. I've got a hot take because I've never sat down and really just studied this song. For Fiona, I end up studying a lot more of the musicality. And I kind of think, here's my hot take, Rachel. I want to hear what you have to say about this. I kind of think this is her, like one of her worst songs lyrically.
I don't think
it's
it's one of her best songs lyrically.
It is super, like when she said she was 14, I was kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, that tracks. Yeah, no, I do think that her lyrics in this one are not as complex and poetic as some of her other songs.
It's the only song I think I can think of that I've listened to hers that I'm like, I kind of feel like she's just rhyming. It's like,
Yeah.
what rhymes with claim? Blame. Perfect. Mark it. What are your thoughts on the lyrics, Evil?
I, you know me, lyrics don't matter.
Points don't matter.
But I will say this. This was the song I had like a take for my song. I found it easy to kind of like
My music sucks and your guys is my music's awesome and your guys is blows. Is that what your take was?
Also, that as well. No, just kidding. No, there's like, I have a theme this year, and the theme is the reason I picked the song that I did. Mm-hmm. I found that I could expand that theme to the song that you picked, David DL.
Oh,
Dave.
Really?
Not really,
No,
Dave.
that's the last word. That's the last name to call me.
Yeah, I know. That's why I put it last. But
okay.
It wasn't immediately apparent for this one until I sat down and listened to it, and I'm like, oh, but it is. And it's
really
clever. And it is, we'll just say, song structure. And using musical themes in a really clever way. So if you listen, like it's like basically like a drum loop, right? The whole song is a drum loop. But verses are 4 bars of that drum loop. And she does a really cool vocal tag on the 4th bar, this kind of the turnaround.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the chorus, she does a lyrical thing it builds tension because she does it in the 3rd bar. And she does where she holds the way, that's like the turnaround.
Okay.
There, and then later in the song, it musically does a turnaround. So there's like this playing with that loop and some like really interesting things lyrically,
like when there's like kind of the digital
musically.
timpani starts to hit a little bit, and then the eerie work starts to build a little bit.
It's like wobbly. It's like makes like a wobbly sound.
Yes.
And she's kind of doing some vocalizations over it, kind of freeform stuff. And then I'm like, oh, this song is genius because it builds the tension to it and it keeps it going, and it's just like super, super clever. It's super clever.
It is. And I did like I was saying, I watched a lot of live stuff for this. And this is another thing is I love watching Fiona. But I don't like this song as much live because there are certain sounds that I want to hear in this song that you don't get from them live. Like the drums, it sounds dumb, but the drums are too real when they're live.
Yeah.
It's
I
like,
can see that.
You don't get that block hit. You just get a rim shot on the snare. It's like, no, my ears want that click, click, and the like all those little fucking things that you don't get when they're live. And I think that speaks to the brilliance of the song because that, like you said, that drum loop, it's got like that very first bass hit is like timpani. It's huge. It's massive. Yeah. And then of course you get the patented Fiona Apple. It's either the like you said, the wobbly strings, or she'll have the kind of darker flute sounds in her songs. I think this was probably the first song that I ever heard from Fiona Apple, and I've been a massive fan of hers ever since.
It's really clever. It pulls me in. It's got on the Stanton Triangle. It's got all like the swagger is turned up and it's got the momentum too. Triumph,
swagger,
Triumph's
momentum.
mid.
Triumph is in the lyrics.
Ooh,
the meaning of the lyrics. I guess we talked about it wasn't amazing lyrics.
Keep you around.
Thanks.
Yes.
But it totally is, though. Yeah.
You're so right.
Yeah. I've got my own hell to raise.
Fuck yes. All right. Hey, Stanton Triangle. Full Stanton Triangle here.
Full Stanton Triangle. I need to make like a fucking graphic. Full Stanton Triangle.
The swagger in this song, though.
Yeah. Well, and she never pushes anything.
No.
You feel like she could be singing this sitting back in a fucking recliner and just kind of telling this guy to fuck off. Like she's in a leather chair drinking a scotch, telling this guy, "Hey, fuck you, buddy."
Yeah, she's like Captain Kirk eating an apple, sitting in the chair, running shit.
Fucking nerd. You couldn't deal with leather chair and scotch. You had to go with Captain Kirk and
eating an apple, man. There's nothing more disrespectful to someone than eating an apple when you're telling them off.
I didn't know that.
I could see that. That's true.
Yeah.
How do you like them apples?
Just
Right?
Oh. There was something that you guys are so smart. Who knew? I read this bit that I think it was Macy Gray tried to cover this. Did anyone else run across that?
Whoops.
Nope.
What?
I want to say it was Macy Gray.
Whoa.
Tried to cover this and said, I can't do it. I'm not angsty enough. Like this, I can't perform this
can't
in
get
a way
into
like
place.
this. I would be like basically doing an injustice to the song and to the feeling, the theme, the meaning of the song if I did it. So I'm gonna not do it.
Well,
love
I mean, if this was like
I love Macy Gray too, by the way.
absolutely, but if this is like
Yeah.
one of the first songs she started writing,
Yeah.
it's like the most Fiona
It's
song
scary.
that ever appled, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Drink.
Fucking apples everywhere. In this. Is that why she named herself Apple?
Oh.
I wish that more people like this would come out.
I feel
But
like there's
these artists like this don't exist anymore.
there's
No.
not that feeling in the performance and the art that Fiona Apple had anymore. I feel like people are writing songs and they're very meaningful, but like I said, Macy Gray, if that's exactly who it was, said she couldn't do justice to the song to perform it because it can't be performed by anyone but Fiona Apple because
Right. It's hers.
David, you watched the live stuff. Jimmy, I don't know if you watched any of the live
did.
stuff. There's so much feeling when she's performing.
Oof.
Like it's like she's reliving it every single time.
yeah,
And you don't get that these days.
she's so interesting as an artist.
Yeah.
She looks nervous a lot when she's singing and playing.
Yeah,
Like,
she's kind
I-
of jittery looking.
If you were like bearing your soul to the world, you'd be a little
Yeah.
nervous
No,
too.
I'm saying it's refreshing.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
saying that
Absolutely.
it's refreshing to see an artist that has everything on the line to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
you don't see that anymore. Everything's I love me a cocky rocker. But there's something about
I bet you
somebody
do.
that's up there like fucking,
does.
that she knows that she's the biggest thing on earth right now, and she's up there fucking nervous. I think it's rad.
I think that kind of goes with her like whole VMA thing. Like it was very awkward for her to win that award because that's not what she wanted necessarily by going out and putting her music out. She didn't want that
No.
attention. She didn't want to be this like shiny thing on a pedestal. And so then when she
And
was a
this-
shiny thing on a pedestal, it was really uncomfortable for her.
And this is what was happening to all the true artists back then. And
Yeah.
God, that was a douchey sentence, but it's true. That's why, like, when Soundgarden won and they're walking up there with their fucking Budweisers and they're like, okay, thank you.
Whatever.
This
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is cool.
Yeah.
Like, we're playing the game because we like money, but this is fucking dumb. It's,
You know,
I
it's funny.
liked
Yeah.
it.
It's funny you picked them because I specifically remember an interview. I think it was Cornell who said this, but they were talking about like the follow up to Super Unknown and how big it was, and he was like, "We could have recorded like Super Unknown 2 and become the biggest band in the world, but that wasn't what we wanted to do."
Yeah.
So they did
No.
Down on the Upside, and it was an amazing album, but not commercially as nearly as viable as Super Unknown, and they did
because-
what they wanted to
because
do because
people are
that's
morons.
well, yes, of course.
Idiots.
The John McCrae Best Line of the Song Award. I want to start this because I talked shit about the lyrics,
You
and
jerk.
it's because I expect the best lyrics from Fiona
Yeah.
Apple, the best, and these aren't it. But there are lines like I've even just the delivery of the main lyric in the song. I've got my feet on the ground and I don't go to sleep to dream.
Yep.
To think of such a young girl singing that the way she's singing it is
Yeah.
so fucking badass. What do you think, Evil? What's your favorite lyric?
I
A resident lyric man.
I have that one as like I have 2 bullet points. I have the one that I picked for best lyric, quote in quotes lyric, but I have exactly what you said in parentheses because of the delivery. It's just so good.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's so good. But the
is.
lyric that I like is I could swallow the seas to wash down all this pride. I fucking love that. It's
That's
so
really
good.
good.
It's like
Yeah.
that one just like, oh, that is
was that a Twins, Rachel?
Twins. That's what
And
that was.
twins.
I'll let
It's like-
you go for
It's
it.
like three-way twins.
You like, yeah, that's true.
I didn't pick
Because you guys had the
swallowing
same
down
thing,
the
me and
sea
you had.
toad.
It's the Stanton
Oh.
triangle is what it is.
It is. It's a menage a twins. Rachel, what's the demographic award?
Oh my
I
God.
love it when I kill evil.
Angry 90s kids. I think this was the.
That is the exact
That's
three
the
words
right
that
answer.
I have. Angry 90s kids is exactly what I put. Good job, Rachel.
Thanks.
I tried to come up with a tasteful way to say this because I think
Women?
it could be this. I tried to open it to interpretation because I think it extends beyond her personal circumstances. And I said, young ladies with a backstory.
Okay.
Young ladies that have met boys.
There you go. Yeah.
The Freebird Award. Rachel, is this Fiona Apple's best song?
Nope.
Is it close?
I mean, it's in the top 10 probably. There's so many good ones.
There
It's
really
hard
is.
to. Yeah.
There really is.
Top 10.
I-
Top 10.
I would actually, I think I would give the exact same answer.
Yeah.
Definitely not her best, especially after. It's weird because I keep saying after restudying, like I fucking didn't like this, but I
Yeah.
fucking love this song. It just, for some reason, when I really started paying attention to the lyrics, I was like, oh, okay, this is very, very, very young Fiona.
Yeah.
Evil, is this her best song?
I don't have context. I said it's a good one. It is currently my favorite song of hers. So it's at least that good. So,
One of the three that you,
right.
yes. What about the John Paul Jones Award, though, Evil?
I'm going to audible a little bit. And because of what you guys have said, since I don't have like context of her body of work in terms of lyrics, I'll say maybe an older Fiona like advising on the lyricism.
That's exactly what I said.
Whoa. Okay.
Older Fiona writing the lyrics is exactly
Here's the
what
thing.
I said.
We stole the teacher's notes.
Whoops.
Here's the thing. The lyrics, you boys saying older Fiona, this is written when she was a tiny kid. Like, we're shitting on the lyrics. Anyone under the age of 20 writing like this these days is just really impressive.
Anyone writing like this these days, just period. Not under.
Also true.
Yeah.
It's impressive, but it doesn't like. I feel like being young. It's not the excuse I'm looking for in music. Like
All
it
right.
doesn't.
That's
I
fine.
mean, if I don't know.
Do you know, to be fair-
I wrote songs when I was 14, and thinking back to my lyrics, I am so fucking
yeah.
embarrassed.
Yeah.
Like
You
my
should
God,
be. They
that
were
kid
garbage.
is a moron. Exactly. So the right answer in most cases for these episodes is going to be none for the John Paul Jones Award, but that's not very fun.
Sure.
Right back to you, Rachel. Was this
Yeah.
ahead of its time? Well timed?
I think it was
I
perfectly
just chugged a
timed.
coffee.
I think. Let's do this.
Yeah.
I think it was
Fucking
perfectly
6-hour
timed.
flight.
I
Chugged the
think-
coffee. Fucking sleep to dream this shit.
I think coming out in the 90s, 96, right, when it did, was just not 96. That wasn't right, was
97.
it?
You were close.
Ni-
The first single came
I
out in
was-
96.
I was
97.
so close. It was just great timing for what was needed in music and what the kids needed with their angry stuff. And I think
I agree.
Fiona was ahead of her time in general anyway. And so I think this is...
I think it's incredibly well timed. I think you had a few singers kind of doing this sort of stuff, but they were either a little on the odd side or a little too pop.
Too commercial.
And
Sure.
yeah, and she was so goddamn her own. Like she's like a female Frank Sinatra kind of. Like just watching her or listening to her for 10 seconds that she doesn't give a fuck about any of you. Like this is all about her
Yeah.
and what she's doing. And I mean, how do you not love that? Evil, what about you? What do you think?
I think well timed is the answer for all of those reasons. Her music it's aged very well for me.
really has. It
Yeah.
totally has. Right back to you. Is this artist as good as this song?
I think so. I mean, apparently she's better, or can be, at least lyrically, according to the experts.
She is absolutely as good as this song. In some cases, she's better, but once again, it's taking away from how good this fucking song is.
Yeah.
So good.
And you know, everybody talks, including me, about her lyrics, but she writes these fucking songs.
Yeah.
And these songs are these types of chords and this sort of structure. Like, people don't write this well. This isn't, they just don't. And I mean, in all fairness, it's very, very rare that you get a songwriter as good as her, but still.
Yeah.
What about you, Rach?
Yeah, I agree. This, we've said lyrically, not the absolute best, but like we haven't really talked about the music outside of, that drum bit, but like, one thing that I noticed very well in the live videos that I watched was the piano is such chaos, and she's not singing with it. It feels like there's like some sort of fight going on with her and the piano parts.
Well, and the fact that they use a tack piano, like you get that old Western saloony kind of fucking feel. That God, it's so goddamn good.
It's so good.
So good.
So I think this very well showcases her talents, but I do think that there's some aspects of her that are better in other songs. So
But who won the song, Rachel?
I think Fiona wins every song. I think being able to get your art out there, like we've said, she's such a unique artist, and she's so different from other people that were coming out at the time, and everything bookending her. Being able to make the music how she wanted to make the music, I think she wins 1,000 times over.
Can I ask you a question as one of the few females on this podcast?
Yeah.
When Fiona came out, and she was young, like she was young, but she was coming out. She came out with this. She came out with Criminal. But there wasn't that typical. I mean, like Criminal was a very, that video was something, but Fiona, there wasn't that sexualization as much about her. For some reason, she was seen as way more of an artist. So, from a woman's perspective, do you think that Fiona helped, like, I don't know, females in rock or whatever you want to call it?
Sure. There's ways to sell albums, right? There's a sexy way, and then there's a talent way. And sometimes those things overlap, but I feel like she very much is talent forward all the time. And even in that video that in Criminal, that is a very sexy video, you're not mistaking that there's an amazing song playing while you're watching the video. You're not focused on her stripping down the entire time.
I just let you answer for me. I appreciate it. Evil, who won the song?
I have no idea. Music. I mean, it's just
That's a good
refreshing to have an artist like that.
It really is.
So
It is.
I didn't have a good answer for that.
I mean, that's a good answer. I don't know why it happened. I don't know when it happened, but it happened, and I'm officially a fucking grumpy music guy this year. So yeah, like we need more artists like this again. I miss it. I miss it a lot. Hey, Rachel, good job for me not letting Evil talk. Evil, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna just tag on to what you guys were talking about before. Is like she's so intimidating for being such a tiny little human.
That's
and
it.
Taking
That's the
so
word.
much control with her music. Like she is just like, you don't want to fuck with her, man. Like she is in control of everything.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's you hit it for me. She is intimidating.
She's like a
intimidating
predator, man. Like she delivers her music like a predator. It is.
Yeah.
And that's intriguing to me.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I want to end it with that. With the exception of thanking Rachel for bringing Fiona Apple. Anytime you do,
It was amazing.
I will love it. Sleep to Dream by Fiona Apple. Rachel's should be favorite artist is like third though. So
That is not true.
I mean, hey, the weirdest thing has happened. Rachel brought Fiona Apple. Evil brought a metal song.
What?
I don't know what's happening. Evil,
Strange.
bake it away, toys.
So I brought to this year's first Break It Down episode a energizing little ditty by a band called Down from their debut album, NOLA. Titled that because they're all from New Orleans. It was released in 1995. Down is at least initially was what was considered a supergroup in the metal community, made up of members of Pantera. So Phil from Pantera on vocals, Pepper Keenan from Corrosion of Conformity. That's really what piqued my interest. Kirk from Crowbar, Jimmy Bauer from a band called I Hate God, which is all one word, EYE, Hate God, all one word.
Yes.
And Todd Strange, also from Crowbar.
Sorry, that's funny.
This was
Evil,
one-
I have a question before you get into it.
Yeah, go for it.
Do you like this band? Because you don't bring them up enough.
So I'm glad you asked that. I was kind of steering. Are you being facetious?
I'm so being sarcastic. Yes. You've basically like begged on air to talk about this band for like 4 fucking years.
Okay. So I had a very complicated relationship with the band up until the end of last season. And that really had a lot to do with Phil, because Phil is a very controversial figure. And I had I had written him off because of his bullshit and stuff. And then
he wasn't at this point.
No, true.
What-
Very
or-
well.
Was he?
Who knows?
I'm going to need a history lesson. But anyway, sorry, we keep interrupting because it's a podcast. But go ahead, Evil.
Well, when I dug into his story and his most recent cancellation and kind of figured out the story behind it and how he was being egged on, there was way more to the story. Go listen to that episode. We've
talked about that. Yes,
that made me feel
that the last thing that happened with him was completely out of context.
Yes. Absolutely. He's still a knucklehead. It's still Phil. It's also what makes him, it's flavor to his personality in the metal community. So love or hate him, he's talented.
He kind of
number one.
He's like the Joe Bluth of the metal community.
Do I like Down? Yes. Their entire catalog I enjoy. This fucking album though is one of my favorites of all time. And this track is probably my favorite track on the album. I picked it because of a number of reasons that we can talk about. But, I brought up song structure, talking about Fiona and how I was able to kind of tie that together. That's one of the reasons I picked this. This is like the power of the riff compels you in this song. This is it's the entire song is like an exercise in just bashing you over the head with riff after riff after riff. This group got together because they were all friends, all from New Orleans, had musical history in common, and they wanted to, at the time in 1995, record kind of a throwback album to like the Sabbath era. It's like a modern sound for that time in 95, sort of a modern sound, but really stripping things down to like the early 70s Sabbath stuff. And I had never heard anything like it personally when I first heard it. And nothing like it was being played anywhere in 1995. And it just like blew it. I fell in love with it.
It's funny that you say that, and I'm gonna get the thing that's gonna sound like a dig out of the way.
Yeah, go for it.
Because I listened to this album, and to me, there are parts of it where to me it sounds like it is a band trying to copy Pantera.
Pantera?
For real. Yeah.
Oh, I don't hear Pantera at all. I don't hate that. I don't hate that take. I don't agree personally, just because
you don't think Lifer sounds like something off of you don't think it sounds like anything off of like Far Beyond Driven or Vulgar or like nothing like that, or even like Walk.
it doesn't sound like Dimebag to me. It sounds like Tony Iommi playing through Dimebag's rig.
That is exactly. So that was kind of going to be my next take, was that it's kind of like that, but they don't have Dimebag Darrell.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I think a part of me was a little bit, I think a part of me was a little bit disappointed, not because this is bad, because I'll get to why I like it, but because you had talked about it so much and they were from NOLA. So I don't know what I was expecting, some sort of Southern kind of like this weird Southern metal type thing that I'd never heard of. And it's just, like I said, I'll talk about the stuff I like about it. It didn't give me what I was expecting.
Okay. And just this track or the album?
This track.
Got it. No, that's fair. That's
Rachel, you've been awful quiet. How much did you love this? OMG.
Here's why I hate this song. So, this is, and
By the way, you don't have to feel bad. Evil knew you were going to fucking hate this.
Oh, yeah.
I did not love the lyrics, and I don't love the lyrics in like any metal song ever. I feel like I love the focus on the drums and the driving guitar in metal. That really, really moves me. But like, I also feel that since a lot of the times the lyrics are so intelligible, there is no focus whatsoever on them at all. And so while, you know, looking through these lyrics, like it still tells a story, but coming from loving poetry and that aspect of music, it's really hard for me to love metal and you subsequently.
That's very fair. That's very fair.
I don't listen to this for the lyrics. It's not.
No,
that's
and I
not
know
what drives me. And I'm like,
and it's so unfair of me to judge metal and a lot of the songs and the music that you bring to this just because it's the aspect of music that I appreciate the most isn't there. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's not true. Like that's the whole point of this. Like there are certain songs that if you brought, like he and I would fucking hate it. And it's not because we all have different tastes. That's what makes this kind of work, you know?
yes, I 100% agree. Like I don't feel bad at all. Like Phil's lyrics are the most bro metal that ever broed. I mean, this is like
We kind of talked about this when we did the 94 episode, Evil.
Yeah. So structure for me, and I'll keep it short, but I love one of the things I like about this type of metal, because there's definitely, like this is very different from like the melodic stuff that like In Flames inspired, or even like Unearth has a little bit of Pantera influence, but it's very different, you know. What I like about these guys is it's so riff driven, and it's almost percussive and rhythmic in the way that they do things, and there's like a main theme riff that they play with through the entire song, and there are moments where like the rhythm section will be doing something different, and then they'll change up, and the drums will go halftime, and the bass plays along with the guitar suddenly, and it changes the entire feel of that riff throughout the song. Yeah. And
it has much more to do with like, it has much more in comparison with like sludge than it does with speed metal. Like it's
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is. It's way more melodic. I do agree with you that this riff based metal to me is way more intriguing, because there is like, even though I said that I was expecting something a little more Southern, this is a very, very blues influenced type of metal.
Yeah.
Like this is playing a lot on the E chord type of stuff, doing that same riff over and over while Phil is, you know, screaming what he's screaming about being in prison.
That same riff that I'm talking about, there's a point later in the song where it's kind of like they're cycling through it, and there's like kind of a more textural riff played over it, but there's no solos in this. No. And there's like this little bend in that riff that he calls it. He's like, that's real hard to do over and over and over again. And that's true. I've tried it. He calls it the hick bend. And they play that little bend
like that.
up over and over and over again with precision, but it's still this loose feeling.
What's the best line of the song?
I don't. It's not lyrically super deep. I mean, I like I like the interplay of I'm staring right back at my cell and then I'm laughing right back at my hell. I like those two lines and kind of juxtaposed.
I agree. The theme is there and the story is there. Lyrically, it's not the best. I was a piece of shit when I wrote this, and I wrote arms and knots liver spots just because it rhymed and I thought it was funny.
It's amazing.
My best line is a question, and that is, what does stealing keys sold to me mean? Anybody?
Ooh.
Because I was very intrigued by that line, and I sat there for at least 47 seconds and tried to figure out what it means. Why are you looking it up? Like it's not...
No.
The demographic award. Who's this for? It's for evil and his ilk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Clearly.
that's the right answer.
Yeah.
That was easy.
Yeah. I mean, I was too young to really be into Sabbath at this point, and
How
it was
dare
like,
you.
how dare I? I mean,
How old were you when you got into this?
it's 1995. I was in college.
You know,
Thank you.
I feel a little snooty now, Evil, because I think I was into Black Sabbath before you were.
Ooh.
What I meant was like chronologically, Sabbath had kind of run its course. Like there was no new Sabbath coming out that was really happening.
No, it was pure luck. It was because my uncle had left, the live Black Sabbath album where all the characters are coming out of the water. I think it's War Pigs Live or something like that it's called. But yeah, he left that in the record stash when I was a kid, and I would just listen to it over and over because it was the greatest thing I'd ever heard. Anyway, sorry.
So for just like this being new music, but having like it was like a modern at the time take on Sabbathy sort of ethos musically.
Was it ahead of its time or well-timed, Rachel?
It's timeless to me in a weird way because it sounds as fresh today as it did to me back then, but it also sounds like a throwback at the same time. But it sounded like a throwback when it was new. Like it's this weird thing. It existed in sort of its own little microcosm.
Yeah. I think it's well timed because then you hear like that Corrosion of Conformity album that came out in '94.
Yes,
that I feel like Evil might want to talk about this year.
a little bit.
I just think it's well timed. Is the band as good as the song? This is the question I've been waiting for. Evil, I want your answer first.
Yes, and the reason why I say that is I would think that fans of the band some might pick this as the best song, but I think most would pick something else. And I think there's two songs on this album that are like much more well known than this one, and that's Stone the Crow and Bury Me in Smoke.
I think like musically, this is a great representation and it's very, very well done. But there were other songs that I liked better than this one. One being Stone the Crow, actually.
Yeah. Stone the Crow. If I was picking songs to like be like, hey, do you guys like this? I want you to like it. It would be Stone the Crow.
But you don't give a fuck.
No, I picked this is for me.
Good for you.
Yes. Good for you. Which speaks to what I wanted to say about in this category. I think this is maybe like out of what are there, like 10 songs on it or something like that? The 13 songs on it. This might be like my 6th or 7th favorite song on it after listening to it. There were a lot of other songs that I was like, okay, this is fucking rad. This is fucking rad.
Yeah.
So whatever, Evil. Who won the song, Evil?
Who won the song? Riff Jesus won the song because the power of the riff compels me.
So silly.
Fucking nerd. Rachel, who won the song?
He just wrote evil. Evil, but also evil, of course.
Who won the song? You guys, it's right there in the name. Everybody that's in prison for the rest of their life. Congratulations. Here's your song. Evil got to talk about Down. He's so happy, even though maybe some of the people he was talking about it with didn't appreciate it,
I knew.
which is
I
really
knew it was gonna
unfortunate.
Wasn't me.
I think we
I
just
loved
keep
it.
going. I think this is going to be a very long one episode.
That's okay.
And that's okay. We're going to take a break and we're going to get in to the song that I brought to the fold. The first one I saw. Oh, jeez, crow. We got a little Jack Daniel's Tennessee Fire. That's going to be delicious. It's going to be like Fireball, but
Go.
a little more rubbing alcohol in it, I
You'll
think.
still got 2 more hours to record after this. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
Our episode's going to be a long one, I feel like. Hey, cheers, everybody. I am so glad to be home. You don't even fucking understand. I was losing my goddamn mind on the road. And you guys will all be very happy to know that I recorded an episode just when I started to lose my mind that is basically all about how shitty musicians, podcasts, and fans are now. So it's just going to be a beautiful, beautiful episode that I did state at the very beginning that Rachel and Evil had nothing to do with. So
It was a good run.
cheers, you little fuckers.
I'll cheers you. I got this is the Strega Benedictine mix straight. It's fucking delicious.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Are you really? You're just drinking straight chartreuse.
Get it?
That's what it was made for. Elixir of
That's
life.
That's pretty awesome. I'm impressed by that.
It's so good.
Evil, we didn't get to talk about it, and we should have. Evil is fucking killing it on the cocktails this year.
Oh, am I?
I feel like you saw the writing on the wall of what was going to happen this year with how incredible the music was going to be, and
Yeah.
you decided that you needed to,
Got it on the game.
bring it.
Yeah, tried to.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, everybody appreciate him.
Oh,
Now, it's my song, and it's Dave
song.
Matthews, and it's Drive In, Drive Out. Yes, that's
it-
right. What?
Wrong song. Just kidding.
Would you
It was
do
wrong song
Crash?
joke. Nah.
No.
That's okay.
Stupid
They're practically the same.
Oh, how dare you?
Oh,
Oh, my goodness. Drive and drive
Virtually
out. A little bit of
identical.
virtually identical.
looking at the same picture.
Oh my God. It's funny. I love that.
you know, this song reminds me of Pantera.
It does. It does.
I don't get mad at that. Little deep cut from Crash, okay? Drive In, Drive Out came out 1996 on Crash, the massive, surprising hit album by Dave Matthews Band. I don't think a lot of people thought that after Under the Table and Dreaming was a fluke because it had no business coming out in 1994 and being as popular as it did, but it did. And then Crash came out, and it was even bigger somehow. Label was RCA. This was produced by Lily White. We will talk more about Lily White and all that he did with the incredible amount of shit that he did with Dave Matthews Band. This was their second album with him. They also did Under the Table and Dreaming, and they would do more with him, including the Lily White sessions, not 7. The reason that I say 7 instead of sessions is because this went 7 times platinum. And yeah, Drive In, Drive Out ended up being a deep cut. I don't know how because it rocks my butt off. But this album kind of solidified the fact that Dave could write actual rock songs. Why did I choose this song? Because this is the epitome of a tight fucking band of amazing musicians firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
I could talk about the guitar and vocals in Dave. I could talk about Stefan Lassard with what he's doing on the bass. All the other instruments. or we could just talk about Carter for an hour. I'm fine with that too. Rachel, if I had to guess why you maybe wouldn't have liked this, it would be because it's too long. There's too many little bullshitty parts.
You're totally wrong. That's not why I don't like it. No, I feel just kidding. These guys, like you said, are so tight and so musically talented. Them going on for as long as they didn't bother me whatsoever. They're all insanely talented, and this is a great example of their work.
Evil. I know that you do have some sort of history with Dave Matthews Band. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like you owned maybe one or two of their albums.
This is the one that I did own.
So were you familiar with the song before this?
Yeah, this was one of my favorite songs on the album.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, we're
team.
learning all the things. We're learning all the things. Evil, what are your thoughts on Drive In, Drive Out by Dave Matthews Band?
A lot of what the band does gets out into the weeds. Like they're incredibly talented musicians, incredibly talented individually and together as a band. They fuck around a lot. And
yes.
And this is an example. I think one of the reasons I like this song is it's an example of them coming together and kind of being on the same page. And like going back to the theme that I found in all three songs is there's kind of a structure. There's like a main theme to the song. And it's, I'm not talking about the last minute where they kind of reintroduce something a little bit new, but even it relates to the main sort of guitar riff, which I will just say the opening riff is the main theme, right? And then it's them like exploring in their own sort of like lane and together and apart, and Carter just fucking playing circles around everybody around that main riff in a really interesting way.
I love that. Yes, I very much agree. I very much agree with you that one of the problems with Dave Matthews Band as I've gotten older is the kind of the bullshit that you have to deal with to get to the greatness.
Sure.
There's like Dave Matthews writes a lot of maybe not so great stuff, and sometimes I think it's because he's trying to do too much. Mm-hmm. This is like basically a fucking A's Blue song. Like, his guitar part is ba da 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 da. That's it. That's his fucking. Unless you're in the chorus, and then it's ba ba ba. That's him playing on this song. And I think because of that, when you do something that simple, and you decide, hey, we're gonna do like a blues funk. Here's another thing about Dave: when he sounds even the tiniest bit irritated or mad with the human race or himself or whatever, he is such a better fucking lyricist and writer and everything when he's fucking mad. Like when he does songs like this or Halloween or, the like God Is All But Left Me Behind sort of shit. He has this growly kind of, like chain smoker angriness in his voice, or a swagger, if you will, that I think is really refreshing and needs to be had in a band like this, because this band should have all the swagger because they have Carter Beauford. If you have Carter
Take a drink
Beauford,
every time David says Carter.
if you have Carter Beauford, you're invincible.
He's all right.
He's all right. Dave Matthews is infamously a bit of a joke lyrically at times. What did you think of this song lyrically?
I found no jokes in it. I thought lyrically it was okay. It was good.
Maybe.
And I think there's a lot and maybe we can talk about this a little bit, to read into of like the meaning of the drive in, drive out. Because traditionally it's when people like me, so not me specifically, but at my work, most of the people that work at my work an hour out of town.
Most of the workers that work at your work out of town? Okay.
Yes. That work for the company that I work for work out of town. I work in town. And so...
Wait, are you trying to say that you were taking this literally? That he's singing about driving in and driving out?
Yes. So it's this it's this cycle of, it's just this repetition of life that you're doing the same thing every single day.
So like an ants marching kind of thing. Like everybody's just going about their same fucking thing every fucking day.
Yeah.
Interesting. I had never thought of that. I always took this song as a little more of a, he is so detached and so at times either because of self-deprecation or just frustrated with the human race that he is just, he kind of says fuck it a lot. Dave Matthews is kind of infamously a nice guy until he's an asshole. And that's what, like, one of the things he said, the only legacy that he wants is that he hopes he wasn't too much of an asshole to the people that loved him. Like it's weird because he's this hippie dude, but he's a little bit of a dick. Carter is he's such a he's hi-hat, snare, and ride. Like that's basically this song is like, yes, he has the tom fills that are fucking insane. But this song is really just his insane hi-hat work to the snare, unless he's also like riding the bell of the ride and then heading over to the snare. Like he has this way of amplifying the hardness of the song to me that's really prominent.
That's what
in
she
this.
said, by the way.
She probably did. He's a pretty big dude.
I had a moment where Jesus Christ. Fuck. I did have a moment where I'm like, if there was like a pedestrian drummer playing on this song would fucking suck so badly.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's
That's
amazing.
hilarious. That's a good take.
It would suck
like that
so
take.
bad because it would be so simple and dumb. But he is playing fucking circles around everything and then giving room for the other musicians to kind of have their little flurries here and there. But yeah.
That's
anyway,
a great take.
Talk more about how big Carter is. Rachel's
Boyd and
blushing.
Leroy, too. The other thing I love about this is that, like you said, there's no shit to wade through in this. And what I mean by that is there's no fucking Boyd solo. There's no Leroy solo leading into anything. You know, when Leroy's playing, it's the riff. It's the da na 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 na. It's always a riff. Or Boyd and Leroy are playing together, and they're like the dun 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 dun. Like there's never any. Okay, it's time for you to go off and do your own thing. It's like Rachel started out with. It is just fucking tight, crisp. It is an amazing band of amazing musicians just doing tight, crisp shit, and it's cool as hell.
Even when they stop towards the end and introduce that kind of new theme, that still drives that section. It's still sort of like it anchors it, and then they're doing some wild shit around it, but it still feels tight because that is kind of the through line.
I agree with that because I do think this is one of the examples, and there are a lot of Dave Matthews songs like this, but one of the great examples of the band just doing it all for the song. Like even the choices that Boyd's making are not, they're not they build into the song. The drive in, drive out, I'm leaving, and then the violin does the bomb, blah, bomb, blah. Like that's not a cool fucking part. And you don't even think about it unless you're really listening. I'm not going to make you guys talk about this shit with me that much. You're welcome. But seriously, like Carter's
pretty badass.
The fucking bell, the bell on the ride over to the snare parts, the dun 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 dun. It's the craziest. He is a fucking god. John McCrae, best line of the song award, Evil. What is it?
So I boil my head in a sense of humor. I fucking love that line. It's so good. It's,
son of a bitch.
It's so visual, and you like. Is it what everyone picked? Man.
No.
Well,
why you
I
always pick
picked
two.
but you have to have the first line there too. I hear more than I like to, so I boil my head in a sense of humor.
Okay.
Which
Yeah,
Evil?
fair.
Do you know who that reminds me of?
Who?
you and me, basically. Like, half of our day is like we're really pissed off about something, so we're just gonna send, hey, look at the joke
look at
about
this.
the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's a meme.
That really pisses us off because we're old and white.
That's so funny. Get off my lawn.
Rachel, what's our resident lyric head? What is the best line on this album?
So I picked two,
Friend song.
and neither of them were Evil's choice. So I said, I'm over this arrangement around here. Oh, the emptiness sounded so good. The visual of emptiness and nothingness having a sound.
That
was
so
really-
when that verse comes across, Rachel, what I think this song is saying is that this guy can't decide between being a part of society or even being in a relationship or something,
Yeah.
or just being fucking alone. And he just keeps like, I want to be alone. And then after a month, he it's like into the wild. He's like, no, wait, I'm supposed to like be with other people to love, and then I'm gonna die from eating berries. What's the other? Sorry.
Well, no, and that's interesting that you bring that up. That actually is very fitting because the next one I chose was just the simple drive in, drive out, because it's this visual of, in your case, being in a situation or being out of a situation, or the way that I read it at first of just this cycle and this repetition of doing the same thing every single day.
The demographic award, Rachel, right back to you. Who is this for?
I said people in flux. Though it will do nothing to solve their problems. It's a way to commiserate music. So just like, yeah, I feel that. That's me, you know.
Rachel, can you say exactly what you just said again, but in a Dr. Phil accent?
No. No, I will not do that. Sorry.
I actually really like that. Evil, what about you?
I forgot to bring this up when we were talking about Down, but
And we're back to talking
we're
about
back,
Down.
but this will make sense. I really liked that Down album, like fucking loved it. But I'm not a stoner, and so I'd never listened to it in the proper state of mind, if you will, until I did, and then I was like,
is that stoner metal?
Yeah,
is it like oh
yes?
But I really did not know that.
Yeah, Bury Me in Smoke is the
Bury
last
Me in
fucking
Smoke.
song. Yeah, so like I saw Down live, and
The
they
concept
had a guy.
of weed and metal is very new to me. Like it wasn't
It's-
until like I think Sleep's album
Yeah,
like
Sleep.
5 years ago that I was like, I should probably be high for this.
Yeah, like, there's like bands called Weed Eater.
Right.
Come on. When
Okay,
I saw
anyway.
Down play, it was an evening with Down, like a 2-hour set. They'd have a guy run out and just exhale pot smoke, and then he'd run off the stage periodically. Anyway, when I finally listened to that album in that state of mind, I was like, oh, I already thought it was good. This is so much better than I had realized. I feel like
It's very good terminology to hide what you were trying to say.
Right.
What was it that you said? The right state of mind.
Indeed. If I was in the right state of mind for this, I bet it would be fucking amazing. I think this is for people who follow
Evil.
bands around and
Evil.
like to.
I liked how heavily you tiptoed, so Rachel won't be like, "Hey, you have to take that out because I work for the government."
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I'm talking about meditation.
I didn't say
'Cause
anything about it.
If you were to just come out and say, "Look, I just want to smoke a bunch of fucking pot and be high for this," then she'd be like, "Oh my god,
Bro.
David, take that out."
It's when
But
I
since
say
you
stuff,
did-
David. You
Oh,
guys can say
okay.
whatever you want. I don't care.
I won't edit any of that then.
Perfect.
Sweet.
Throw back 3 or 4
I-
gummies and listen to some DMB.
Yeah. Get it.
This is what I said. Okay, so demographic award. Every now and then there's somebody that it happens a lot. Because they're that type of band that I get the Dave Matthews Band fucking sucks. Or yeah, like fucking Crash, Satellite, come on. To wit, I then say, just go listen to Drive In, Drive Out. Just go check it out. If you don't like it, awesome. You can make fun of me forever. Just go check that song out. And 9 times out of 10,
You're
9 times
tired.
out of 10, the purses, holy shit. 9 times out of 10, the person is like, okay, yeah, look, I'm still not going to listen to Dave, but that song's pretty fucking badass. The Stairway Award, Rachel, is this the best Dave Matthews song you've ever heard?
Probably not. But I do think it's a great example of their talents. There's great musicianship on this, even though, again, probably not my favorite, probably not the best. But
Okay. Evil, what about you?
She stole my notes. I literally exact words in my notes. I said no, comma, but it's a good example of them firing on all cylinders.
yeah,
A little bit of a hot take here. I think I'm not qualifying this because I still have a lot more Dave Matthews to talk about this year with Sven, our dear friend, Mr. Knutson.
love him.
But for now,
That's my pho buddy.
without doing the research, I think this might be the best Dave Matthews Band song.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh,
I
that
do.
is a super hot take.
Find out soon on Verse Chorus Verse. Tune in. The John Paul Jones Award. We'll go right back to me. Look, LOL, you guys. Who the fuck are you going to take out or add into this? That said, Butch Taylor, who's been their traveling piano player since the beginning of time, but for some they do this weird thing where they have people like Tim Reynolds, their guitar player, who basically introduced Dave Matthews to the other guys, and they have Butch Taylor, who's been playing piano with them forever, that they aren't part of the band. It's really weird. But a little Butch Taylor on here, maybe. I could hear maybe a little clanking piano every now and then in the choruses, like the dun 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 dun. But like, I'm not touching this. So that was what little planky Butch Taylor. That's all. Rachel, what about you?
Take everything out. Here's what I said. Because I wanted to fuck with the song. And any answer is better than just leave it alone.
I
So
agree.
I kind of wanted it because there was so much meaning in the lyrics, kind of punchy sound that they have, that kind of what you think of when you think of Dave Matthews, right? If you take that out, I'd like to hear it, if that makes sense, to slow everything down and take out, I don't want to say take the energy out, but just to like calm it down a little bit. It's
What
a
about
10,
like
I
a-
wanted it like a 6.
So what about like a Dave Matthews, Tim Reynolds, 2 acoustic guitar type
Yeah.
of drive in, drive out?
Maybe something like that with like a djembe.
Okay.
I don't know. Something a little slower.
Let's leave the fucking djembe out of this. I mean, how stoned are we getting here, Rachel?
It's not me, it's Carter.
Rachel wants to add a drum circle. Okay.
I have two answers to this. The first one is they fucking don't need anyone else in this band. Like, there's no
They
room.
need more people.
There's no
More
more fucking
instruments.
room for the wild shit to do. I saw Dave Matthews on, I want to say it was like a VH1 history of the
Storytellers.
guitar or something. No,
sorry.
This was like, he was part of like an anthology series, and he was just him playing, and I'm like, fucking A, he is good at guitar. I wish that he would just uncork some of that a bit more in
Very
the context of the band. Instead of, I don't want to say what he plays is simple, because there are some complex guitar lines in the catalog, but it's
some
not the same
very
thing. Like,
complex
it was
ones.
like, he was like rocking. Like, it was like, I was into it. I fucking don't get it. Why, like, people who can do that on the guitar don't. God damn it. Like, okay.
Dude, you have those. It's Carter Beauford, man.
Fuck. Ugh.
Just
Like,
you
this
just
happened.
gotta-
This is why
gotta
you
let 'em
two
cook.
hated the most recent Extreme album. Nuno didn't uncork like what he could have. If someone can play,
Oh, that's not why we hated it.
We hated it because it was garbage all around.
well, yeah, because he like, yeah, he had solos and stuff. That's cool, but it was like waiting for the solos. There's previous music in their catalog where he plays circles the entire song. I think Dave
Exactly.
can do
Sure,
the
that-
same
you're right, that's
fucking
what I
thing.
want. That's
And
what I
I'm like,
want.
just let it, like, fuck the songs. Play guitar. Hot take.
Fair.
Fuck the
Okay.
songs. Play your goddamn guitar.
I don't think
songs
that's not hot of a take. I feel like that's
If you're
a pretty
capable
hot
of doing
take.
that, fucking
It's
do
pretty
it.
hot take.
Flex. Flex.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Sorry, all you rhythm guitarists out there, me included. But no, I know exactly what you're saying. Was this ahead of its time or well timed? I'll start. For me, it's kind of. I don't think it matters. It's kind of perfect.
Yeah.
Because I heard it when I was at a time to hear music and liked. I don't fucking know, man.
David.
Yeah. Hey, it was Whiskey 3 Ways Day, Rachel. Give me a break. Rachel, what about you?
This is why people quit. I think it's
Leaving
time.
that in.
I think it's.
Took me a minute. Took me a little bit.
I think it's timeless. I think this. I think the sound that Dave Matthews has in the '90s would sell today. I think the lyrics and the theme of the song are appropriate then, today, tomorrow.
I think probably the same. I just had 3 question marks because
Yeah.
they don't follow trends. They're their own thing.
They don't follow exactly.
Yeah.
Like this shouldn't have worked when it did.
Exactly.
This shouldn't have worked in '94. Shouldn't have worked in '97.
Yeah.
6. Sorry, but it did. Is the band as good as the song? I just put LOL. Rachel, what about you?
100%. This is a great song, and this is a great example of who they are, how they're good they are, all that.
I think musically they're all on par with how good this song is. I think the band is not as good as this song because they fuck around so goddamn much.
That's a fair take. That's
Just
a fair
because
take.
they're all playing at the same time.
They're playing in different directions at the same time. It's like
It's chaos. It's good.
it's like drawing and quartering in the medieval times. It's like the horses are pulling the body in different directions, and I'm the
It's
body.
still
trying to listen to
entertaining.
it.
It's still entertaining
feeling-
to watch people get quartered.
I'm feeling attacked right now. Who won the song, Rachel? Who won the song?
I actually have a great answer for this, and that is moms that were trying to get their kids to play the violin, and we're like, "Look, you can do something. You can do something with that. You don't have to play the guitar or the drums. You can do the violin."
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That is pretty good. Evil, what about you?
My initial answer was Carter, but I think you might have won it since you picked it as the best song.
I love this song so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, you do.
And I'll qualify that because I said that Carter Beauford wins everything that he is ever on. So
he's
it doesn't matter. Carter Beauford wins.
He's so
Dave
big.
Matthews.
Are we trying
you
to
know
get
why-
Carter Beauford on this?
Do you know why Dave Matthews believes in God? Because Carter Beauford's his drummer. Hey, everybody, that is those are the 3 songs that we came at you with. Hey, we've gone through one song of the 3 that we're going to have this year. Evil, any guesses on what Rachel or I's theme of the year is?
Ooh, you both have themes. So
Everybody's got a theme.
yours is going to be drummers, and
That's a
That's
very
a theme.
good guess.
It could go so many directions with
Yeah,
the
I don't
first
know.
song.
I don't.
That's
I
why the
don't-
first one's hard. That's what she said.
Not all the time.
Rachel, what's my
metal.
theme? What's Evil's theme?
Uh,
Is Evil's theme metal?
Evil's theme is metal.
I mean, you can say that, and then he can't argue it at the end of the fucking thing.
I bet you every single song is going to be metal.
Oh, that's
So it could be like an additional theme into the theme that he was thinking of. I want to say it's going to be something with the theme of the song, though.
I want to reveal my next
Well,
song
that's
to you guys.
not broad.
Well, it was like war last year.
Speaking of broads, let me guess your theme, Rachel. No. Okay, so my guess for Rachel, I'm guessing that your theme is going to be your favorite songwriters. That's what
that
my
could be a
guess is.
theme. I can change it now. Next one's going to be Taylor Swift.
Evil, I don't think this is right, but it's the only, after thinking about it, it's the only thing I could come up with. I think your theme is going to be Pepper Keenan.
That was a contender, but it's not.
Okay,
my-
so that's clearly not your theme.
I actually said what my theme is in this episode.
Ooh.
The words came out of my mouth.
Evil, what do you think Rachel's theme is? That's right. Slow moan.
Really strong tracks off of some of her favorite artists' first albums.
Ooh,
Wow, that is intricate.
that's
I love it.
very specific.
That's the best guess we've gotten.
Yeah.
Rachel, are you out of drink?
Yeah.
Oh,
Nope, I have this full glass of vodka.
suck. Hey, everybody, that's
chug
it. Join us next week. It's just me, and like I said, a little bit of bitching. Look, I wanted to have a discussion about how sucky it is right now to have to try to listen to and find good podcasts. What it's like to have to deal with artists nowadays and their suckiness, and what it's like to be a fan and how we suck and being a fan sucks. Everything sucks. And it's not... Honestly, it wasn't just a bitch fest. I'm trying to find solutions, and I talk about that a lot. I bring solutions every time I bitch. But I do call a lot of shit out, including me. So that's next week. A little bit of clickbait for you. The name of I think I named the episode on YouTube like "Don't Listen to This Episode" or something like that. So
Nice work.
Thank you, Rachel. It was good to see you again. I feel like you're becoming my long lost friend.
I know,
but it's
I'm
been
sorry.
real.
I'll text you more.
Okay, but not like YouTube shorts. Like,
I don't do YouTube shorts. It's all Instagram
or no,
shorts.
not Kathy jokes. How about that?
Wow.
Evil. I'll see you. I'll see you
On the
in
flip side.
a couple minutes because we got some shit to do, right?
Yeah, we do.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a blast. Thank you very much. I missed hanging out with these three a little
There's
bit.
only two of us.
He likes himself.
I count myself
He's working.
as I don't get to spend time with me. Okay,
You spend so much time with yourself.
I was all by myself. Ladies and gentlemen, we love
I
you.
fucking almost did that. God damn it.
Good night and good luck.